Hey, this is Ron Keel, the metal cowboy and host of the Streets of Rock and Roll radio show.
This is Zach Wild, Black Label Society.
Hey, this is Sebastian Bach.
Hey, this is Geoff Tate of Queensryche.
Hey, this is Bruce Kulick.
Hey, this is Michael Anthony from Van Halen, Chickenfoot, and all points in between. And you and I are both here listening to The Shoe.
The Shoe!
The Shoe.
To The Shoe.
You're listening to The Shoe.
With the best guy I know. The best young guy I know, for sure.
Miles Schuman. Crank it up!
This is Miles Schuman. Miles the Shoe Schuman, your 14-year-old rock and roll radio host, bringing you the rock star interviews every week. You know where to find them. We're going to have a great show today. We're going to get into some of the stuff that's happened in the hard rock and heavy metal world a little bit later into the show, such as Stephen Pearcy leaving Rat, James Kotak getting arrested, and, of course, a case that I've talked about a lot on this show, the Queensryche case, was finally settled. After the interview I'm about to do, my good friend Robert Sarzo will be calling in, who plays in Geoff Tate's version of Queensryche, soon to just be the voice of Geoff Tate, and the voice of Queensryche, Geoff Tate, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But first, I'm really excited to do this interview. This is somebody that I've wanted to have on the show officially for a long time. He is the voice of Skid Row. No, his name is not Johnny Solinger. He is the real deal. I have Mr. Sebastian Bach on the line. How are you, Baz?
How are you doing? The Shoe, how's it going?
Yeah, I talked to you like a month ago at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp where I was in Rudy Sarzo's band, and back then you said, "Yeah, let's do it." And so I'm honored that you came onto the show.
Well, is this live right now?
No, it's not live. It will be airing in about 3 hours, actually.
Oh, okay, on the internet and stuff?
Yeah, and I might as well say that you could be listening on Spreaker, you could be listening on CMS Radio Network, you could be listening on WPNT 95.7 The Panther, wherever it is, you're listening to me with Sebastian Bach here. I'm going to go ahead.
Dude, you are taking over the airwaves.
Well, I've been
awesome.
This is my new show. I was on Blog Talk Radio for 3 years, had the number one rock show on that site, and now I'm doing...
Well, wait, you had the number one rock show when you were 10?
Yeah, I was 11, yeah.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Well,
way to go.
Thank
right
you.
On.
Your new album is very, very impressive. My personal favorite album you've done since Slave to the Grind, so...
Wow, cool, dude. Cool.
Obviously, I wasn't around back then when that came out, but yeah. I am around for this album. So, you have some of an amazing lineup on this record. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I have some incredible players on the new CD. The CD is called Give 'Em Hell. It's out in all places that CDs are sold, and iTunes, blah, blah, blah. I've got some incredible players. On the first single, Temptation, John Five plays the guitar and wrote the music for that song from Rob Zombie's band. And Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses on bass on most of the record. He also wrote a song, number 2, called Harmony. The music, I collaborated with him on that one, and it's just such a fun, punky, metal kind of track. And also I have Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band on 3 songs, and Devin Bronson, who plays with Pink, and Don't Get Scared, and Avril Lavigne. You know, that's like, wow, dude, that's heavy.
Yeah, I remember.
Amazing guitar player.
Lita Ford was saying a few weeks ago, she was telling me about her lineup and her band, and then she goes, yeah, and on guitar is Mitch Perry. He's played with everybody from Cher, and everybody stops in the room and goes, Cher? And she was like, yes, but he's not proud of it. So that just kind of reminded me of that little moment.
Well, you know, regardless of what genre you play musically, you have to be a proficient musician and someone who knows how to play in order to create great albums. So, you know, I mean, I've also starred in 4 Broadway productions. I don't limit myself just to rock and roll. I started getting into music when I was 8 years old. I was the lead singer in my church choir. I was the lead soprano. And I was into church hymns and psalms long before I was into rock. So, you know, when Lita Ford says Mitch Perry played with Cher, that's because that's something to be proud of. Cher's a professional in this business for 50 years now, and you have to be a professional to play with her. So, you know, very few performers have careers that span decades, and the ones that do are usually the ones that are for real. So Cher is definitely for real.
Right.
And I hate to tell you, all you rockers out there.
Now, back to this lineup, and how did you come to pick these guys? I mean, I as soon as I heard the first opening riff to Temptation, I knew right away that was John 5. That just sounded like something,
Cool.
Of his style.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, how did you know the right players to pick that would be able to match your style?
With John 5, we had a song on my last record, Kicking and Screaming, called Tunnel Vision. And everybody really dug that song. And John 5 was actually in the Skid Row video Piece of Me that we put out in 1989 before he had created the character of John 5. His name is John Lowry, and he was just a fan, and he told me that he saw in a music magazine in L.A. that Skid Row was shooting a video, so he got all excited, and he waited in line with the fans and is in the video. He's a blonde guy that I throw into the crowd. He jumped up on the stage, and I picked him up and threw him back in. Wow. That's John 5. So I've been collaborating with John 5 for 25 years now. Pretty funny.
Whether you knew it or not.
Yeah, I didn't. When he told me that story, I was blown away. It was before he even created John 5. Just
right.
When he was a normal human.
So, I want to talk about this. This is kind of an interesting thing that I like to talk about sometimes, is kind of how much the music industry has changed. Yesterday, I saw the first week sales come out for Give 'Em Hell, and it was around 4,000 or 5,000. I don't remember exactly. Now, in today's terms, that's good for for a metal album, but
yeah.
Back then, when you were first getting started in Skid Row and everything, can you talk a little bit about how the change has, I guess, kind of affected, how the change of the music industry has affected how many albums you guys sell, which obviously is a huge part, and what you think the reaction would have been if, there was no YouTube back then? If you would come out with this new album with 4,000 or 5,000 sales on it in the 80s, what that kind of, what would that have
Well,
said?
that wouldn't have happened because it was a different thing. I can't complain because Kicking and Screaming came in at 72 in the top 200, and Give 'Em Hell came in at 71.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not in a position to complain, but I have to say this. I have got to say the following statement.
Okay.
I have over 800,000 people that like my Facebook page, that read every word I write on my Facebook page. Over 800,000. And yesterday, I look at the if you could see what I'm seeing right now, you'd know I'm distracted. If you could, there is the most beautiful naked woman in front of me that I've ever seen in my whole life. Honey, I'm doing an interview. Okay, anyways, I have to say this. I have over 800,000 likers on my Facebook page that follow every single thing I do. Yesterday it said, you know how it has like next to the amount of people on the page, it says how many people are talking about the page? 75 or 80,000 people are talking about it. I would like to thank the 5,000 out of the 800,000 that got my record, and I would like to ask the other 795,000 people, why are you on my page? Are you there? Are you there to look at the pictures? Is that why you're there? Because that's simple. If that's what you want, I'll put some pictures up or whatever. But I mean, I have no clue when it says 800,000 people and 70,000 people today are talking about this. What are you talking about? What? Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
I don't get it. Like, what? Oh, he's got a new record out. I've loved him for years. I'm not going to buy that. Like,
why?
What? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why you're on my page. Like, for what? Why? What? I don't get it. Totally don't get it. But whatever. That's it.
Now, why aren't lawyers and record companies doing more to stop these new albums and stuff from going on YouTube?
Dude, it's way beyond me, bro. It's like country music fans go out and buy the CD. Rappers go out and buy the CD. Justin Bieber fans go out and get the CD.
Yeah.
I got 800,000 people on my page, and 795,000 of them don't get it. Thanks, killer. Woo! Thank you.
I will proudly say
Appreciate
that I
it.
did get the record.
Appreciate that. Thank you, rock and rollers. Woo!
I will proudly say that I did get the record, and I think anybody
Cool.
listening to this should get the record.
So you're not one of the 795,000 people that I'm addressing.
Right. I guess that makes me one of the 5,000
a lot
that
of people.
did.
It's quite a lot of people, isn't it? If you think about it.
Would that be around how much like a Skid Row record back then would have come out in the first week sales? 800,000?
No, like 100,000.
Okay,
in
100,000.
the first week. Would
Okay.
be good or something.
But it's kind of interesting because
it's up to the music fans. It's like you read rockers, oh, rock is dying and everything. Yeah, you're killing it.
Right. Right.
don't, unless you're down at Best Buy buying your new band's favorite album, don't talk about rock being dead because
Right.
you're the one murdering it.
Right.
Country music is alive and well. Rap music is kicking ass.
Well, I hope
don't
something
know
changes.
I don't know what to say.
I hope something changes, but as the way it's going right now, it doesn't look like it will. But it is kind of interesting because your former band, they'd be lucky to sell 5,000 records on their new record.
Yes. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't know. It's very puzzling to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
I don't even really want to get into the whole reunion stuff because you've talked about it so much, but it's just ridiculous how, that one other member won't agree to it. So many people would love to see it happen. If you guys
We're all gonna be dead soon.
all
all
my friends
not
are
like
dead
tomorrow or anything, but it's like it's just life is short. Like
Right.
it's like wow, really? Okay.
Right.
I don't know how other people think. None of us are getting any younger. That's the fact of the matter.
I gotta read you this comment that I saw on a YouTube video. I screenshotted it for this interview so I could read it to you. I thought it was hysterical. It was a video of your former band with their current singer playing like Youth Gone Wild or something in some little bar, and then the comment is, "I think it is so nice of the band to encourage fan participation. I mean, letting some random guy just come up on stage and pretend to be the singer is really giving back. That's real nice." Oh, wait.
Well, I'm not here to put people down or if they're happy, that's great.
Right.
It's just pure insanity to not. If you were offered a job with somebody that maybe you didn't get along, but somebody was going to pay you like $500,000 if you did a job with this guy, wouldn't you just say, "Okay, I'll do it"?
Right.
who says no? Who says no, thank you? We're not going to get along. We're just going to fight, and you keep your money.
Right.
I just don't get it. But whatever. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I have lead singer's disease.
Right.
That's the whole term. He's got lead singer's disease. Yeah, you got guitar player disease.
No, Sebastian, when I interviewed you at Bass Player Live, there was a whole thing that there was a whole new thing that was going on. The whole Nikki Sixx thing. By any chance, I don't want to ask this question, but I have to. By any chance, did you hear the most recent things that Nikki Sixx has kind of shot towards you?
No, last thing I read, he hates Sully Erna from Godsmack. I can't keep up with all the hatred. There's so much hate to deal with. It's hard to. It's like I got to get a scorecard out of how many people he hates. It's quite fascinating.
Well, I don't know.
I know he hates me, but I know he hates Sully. There's a bunch of other people he hates. So it's like sports. I got to keep up with it all the hatred.
I don't know if you want to hear what he said. It's it's nothing new, but it's new in terms of newness, but it's like would you like to just hear briefly what he said?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's great. What?
He said he did a bit on his radio show where he was reading about that new TV show that you're doing, Sing Your Face Off. And he goes, so former Skid Row singer Sebastian Bach is participating in this show. And then he stops and goes, when the hell is that guy going to lose the former Skid Row thing? He was in Skid Row shorter than Skid Row even existed. And he went on a little rant about that. About how
Okay, are you ready? Mo show, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Mo, are you ready? This is your lucky day. Do you know how lucky you are? Are you ready for this?
Okay.
You're not ready. Are you sitting down? I'm
sitting down.
I'm giving you the world exclusive.
Okay.
On this next bit of information. Are you ready?
I'm
are
ready.
The one.
I'm ready.
The exclusive. Are you ready?
Okay.
In 10 seconds, I'm gonna lift the tag of former Skid Row singer Sebastian. Are you ready?
Okay.
Here I go. Hang on. Wait. Okay, I did it. I just let go of that tag. I did on your show.
On my show.
I'm telling you that I've now let go of that. Don't you feel great? Wasn't this amazing? I feel better.
It feels no different to me. I don't feel any different.
No, I just let go of the tag. I did. On your show.
On my show.
Yes.
Nikki Sixx.
Great?
Nikki Sixx, I know you listen to my show all the time. So are you hearing this?
Finally. After all these years, I just said, you know what? I'm going to let go of this tag. I just did it on your show.
Wow.
Isn't that I feel better. Do you? I feel lighter. I feel airier. I feel much better. That's all I know. Now that I've done that. Isn't this great?
I'm speechless.
What does that even mean?
Right.
What? Wow. Okay. Wow. I feel so much better now. That's all I know. Thank you. Because I was wondering what was getting me down. There was that tag I was carrying around for years. Now that I've let it go, things are looking up for me. Like I'm feeling good now.
Wow.
Thank God.
All that history that lifts up all the history then.
On your show too.
On my show. Wow, I got the exclusive. You heard it here first on the shoe with Miles Schuman.
I let go of it. I did it.
You did it.
Finally. After all this time. Jeez. It's really bugging me too.
I mean, when I guarantee when Motley Crue is done, if they're done after this whole next tour, that we're still going to be hearing Nikki Sixx referred to as Nikki Sixx, former Motley Crue bassist.
Do you know how much I care about that? Not at all.
Right.
Who cares? Like, What are we even talking about? Does he want me to pretend I wasn't in Skid Row?
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, I got 22 million platinum records on my wall that kind of make it hard to forget.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was a
Whatever.
ridiculous comment too. I just wanted to see, if you would hear it. So I guess I got the exclusive. The exclusive.
You got
Sebastian
it.
Bach has
I let go of
lifted
the
up the
tag.
former Skid
I
Row
hope
name.
everybody likes me now.
Right. Well, anyways,
Hope I'm okay. Well, I hope I'm okay now.
Moving
Everybody.
off of that, anyways. Can you tell me a little bit about Sing Your Face Off?
Yes, Nikki Sixx hates it, but he's never seen it.
And it hasn't
So
even
that-
come out yet, right?
It's never been on. It's never been on, but it's
But he
got to
hates
be
it.
horrible,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right. So there's a term, consider the source. Okay. Yeah, it comes out on ABC TV May 31st, 9 p.m., 8 episodes. It's a crazy piece of American culture, and it's about singing music. So it's kind of fun. It's a fun show.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you like doing those kind of things? Those competition TV show kind of things, like American Idol, except you're already established.
Done a bunch of them. Celebrity rap superstars, celebrity duets, lots of stuff. It's a job. That's like a job.
Right.
Rock and roll is my first love, but television is lucrative. When your album comes in at 72 in the chart, that's awesome. But you don't turn down ABC TV series.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh wow, you want me to do an ABC television series? Okay, let's do it. Woo! Yeah, it's a job.
Right.
It's a job.
So that comes out. When did you say that was?
May 31st, 9
May
p.m.
31st on ABC.
On ABC. 8 episodes.
All right. Well, now you just played the M3 festival about less than a week ago, and then you actually went to my home state of Maine the night or so after that. So obviously you were playing at you just came out with a statement the other day about why you don't like playing clubs. Now, I'm just kind of curious to know, going to play this M3 festival, however many people were there, it's a very, very big venue. And then the next day, you were there over at in Portland, Maine, at the Asylum, which is a nice little venue. How do you prepare yourself from the M3 festival over to the Asylum? I'm not saying that's bad at all. I'm just kind of curious.
When you do interviews and you make a statement, people tend to take it as a blanket, definitive statement. When I say to somebody, I don't like playing clubs, it doesn't mean that I don't like playing the Asylum in Portland, Maine. I'm saying I've headlined arenas for 25 years.
Right.
When you play in front of 15,000 people, it's, to me, more of the dream that I had when I was a kid, other than playing at 12 midnight in a hot, sweaty club for a bunch of drunk people. It's just a totally different thing. I didn't dream. When I was a little kid, I didn't say to myself, I can't wait to be a rock star so I can play a club. Like, that wasn't the dream that I had. I want to play the LA Forum. I want to play the M3 festival. This is the dream that I had. That's just what I like to do. And it really comes down to the sound. It's the sound. Mm-hmm. I really feel that in a small, tiny club, a gigantic, huge heavy metal band oftentimes is so loud that it's not quite enjoyable for me. When I go to an arena or a shed like M3 or the Hollywood Bowl to watch Neil Young or, a larger venue, I can hear the music better. That is my intention of going to hear music. I want to hear it. And as a performer, to sing on a big stage like the M3 Festival, that's what I'm used to vocally. I can hit a scream, and I know how to make it resonate in a big space. In a tiny little club, it doesn't soar. You know what I mean? It's like a smaller thing. I'm just being totally honest. I like the sound and I like the energy and the vibe of like an outdoor, rock concert. That's just what I always wanted to do.
Now, if somebody comes to a Sebastian Bach show, are they going to get to witness the full-on high-note screams that you've always been known for?
Yes, 100%. You can go watch the video clips from M3, and I hit notes that only dogs can hear. It was fantastic. Canines were applauding. Yes, I can still sing. Listen to my new album.
How do you keep your voice in such great shape, though? Singing high all the time. We've seen it happen with so many different people where they lose their voice over the years, and it really has not happened with you at all.
Well, I'm not always the same. Like, I try my hardest. It's a muscle. It's like a trick. The people that are around me know that there's no shortcuts to me singing. I have to sing every single day and do my scales, and it's tedious. It's tedious. But it's just like going to the gym. My fiance is a model, and she goes to the gym and makes her body look really good, and her booty like perfect, and her stomach is totally flat and trim, and she's gorgeous, and she works at it, and I work at my voice like that. This should be a Skype interview. You'd be really digging it. Oh, but you're 14, so no.
Right. Well, hey, maybe I'd still dig it.
You'd still be digging it.
Yeah.
Say hi, radio.
Hello, radio.
Oh.
There's Mini Gupta, right?
Yeah. Here, wait. Ask her some questions. You're on the radio.
Oh, God.
He knows your name.
Hello.
Okay, you're
So Sebastian Bach interview now featuring Mini Gupta, and then we're going to have Robert Sarzo on. God, we have a whole all-star lineup here.
I've been taking these new hormones for my voice. I'm just, it's been, introducing me to a whole new range. It's sounding a little feminine, but in touch with my feelings.
Hey, there you go.
Hormonal voice training.
So how do you like, what's it like being in a relationship with Sebastian Bach?
Oh, great. What's it like? Maybe I'll leave the room.
Honey, this isn't couples therapy.
Oh,
is it? Yeah. Well, it's very nude. Sebastian loves to be naked, and he runs around naked outside, like in the middle of the night. I know, I'm exposing all your secrets. No. He's naked right now.
Stop, the cops are coming.
The guy is obsessed with nudity. It's very strange. It's very bizarre. There's pictures of him when he was a child, like in the Bahamas, just running around without any pants on him. It's the exact same today.
Nothing wrong. All right, hey, there you go.
Did she leave you speechless?
Yeah, we're getting all kinds of exclusives on this show.
Oh God.
Now I wanted to ask you real quick, Sebastian. I heard recently that your drummer is in the hospital.
Oh, great! Fantastic news.
Had you not heard about that?
No, I saw it.
Okay.
I'm just pretending that doesn't exist.
Right. So, any idea who may be filling in for him if he's not able to come to any of the live shows?
No, he's in the band. Bobby is a monster. He's the best.
Yeah.
Best drummer I've ever worked with in my life. I love him so much as a friend. I hope he's okay. I'm just pretending that he's totally fine. I know how strong he is. He's played drums on every one of my solo albums. Love him with all my heart. He's an amazing man. He's a true professional and a great person. He loves his wife. He's a good guy, and I know he's a very hard worker, and I know he's going to be fine because I need him to be fine.
Yeah. I have not had the honor of seeing you guys live yet, but I've seen the videos, and the rhythm section sounds great. As a bass player myself, that's always what I'm listening to.
Right on. Yeah.
Who else is in the
top
band?
Of the line.
Who else is in the band?
Devin Bronson, Will Hunt. See, I also have to share Bobby with Fate's Warning sometimes. So when Bobby's not available, I use Will Hunt from Evanescence. Johnny Chromatic is my live guitar player guy. He also wrote a song on Angel Down called Stuck Inside that's incredible. I'm waiting for the follow-up on that one. Bass, Jason Christopher from Stone Sour or Rob DeLuca. That's pretty much it. Dude, I got some stuff to do here.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna let you go right in 1 second. I was just about to say that I'm gonna play Hell Inside My Head, a copy of it that I did buy.
Thank you.
Awesome. After this, but before I let you go, can you tell me a little bit about this song?
Well, it's a really fired up guitar intro. I absolutely love the way it starts, and that goes right into a really fast Bobby Jarzambek beat. And the voice sounds really cool coming in. It's a great album opener. I like the first song on the album to really kick your butt, and Hell Inside My Head definitely kicks your butt. So it's a good cut number one for sure.
All right. Yeah, so that's going to be if you haven't heard Give 'Em Hell yet, you're going to hear my favorite song off of it, which is Hell Inside My Head. Sebastian, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this interview.
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you very much. I gave you the exclusives.
You gave me great exclusives. So did Minnie.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. Great talking to you.
All right. Great talking to you. Thanks, Sebastian.
See? People are nice.
Hey, this is Miles the Shoe Schuman, 14-year-old rock and roll radio host. That was Hell Inside My Head off of Sebastian Bach's latest release, Give Em Hell. Give Em apostrophe hell, E-M. You can find it on iTunes and Amazon and all those stores, Best Buy, wherever you can find your favorite records, if you can find them anymore, the way that the music business is nowadays. Anyways, we're going to have Robert Sarzo from Geoff Tate's Queensryche, soon to be Geoff Tate, the voice of Queensryche. He's going to come on and kind of give his take on everything that's going on. Real quick, I want to read a quick story. Actually, no, I'll read that when I come back. I'm going to go ahead and play a song off of Robert's solo album called Don't Change Your Love. This is Robert Sarzo's Don't Change Your Love off of After the Storm, his first solo album. And then I'll talk a little bit about the record, and then I'll read that story that I was going to read. So here you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Miles the Shoe Schuman, 14-year-old rock and roll radio host. That was Don't Change Your Love off of Robert Sarzo's first solo album, After the Storm. Oh, there goes another song off of his album called Lace, Pearls, and Fire. Didn't mean for that to start to play. But anyways, that was Don't Change Your Love off of After the Storm, his first solo album, which he actually recorded about 30 so years ago, right after he was fired from Hurricane, which he is back. He has a new version of Hurricane out now that he'll talk a little bit about when I get him on in a few minutes. That album was recorded 30 years ago, and then the record company Enigma Records went broke, and the record wasn't actually able to go out. So then 30 years later, a record company approaches him, asks him to put out a solo album. He goes back into his vault, and he finds that record. So he sent that over to the record company. They put it out, and it's a great record. I recommend it. You can find it, look for it on robertsarzo.com. You can find it on iTunes. It's called After the Storm by Robert Sarzo. Now, of course, he's playing in Geoff Tate's Queensryche, soon to be just Geoff Tate, the voice of Queensryche. I'm going to go ahead and read the official statement by the Queensryche members, Eddie Jackson, Scott Rockenfield, Michael Wilton, and Geoff Tate, that they released about the amicable settlement, as they said. It says, "We wanted to let Queensryche fans around the world know that an amicable settlement has been reached between Eddie Jackson, Scott Rockenfield, Michael Wilton, and Geoff Tate with regard to the future of the Queensryche name. According to the agreement, original Queensryche members Eddie Jackson, Scott Rockenfield, and Michael Wilton, along with recent members Todd Latore, and Parker Lundgren, will now be the sole entity recording and touring as Queensryche, performing selections from their entire musical catalog that spans over 30 years of material. Original Queensryche lead singer Geoff Tate will continue to record, perform, and pursue a variety of other creative endeavors, and as part of the agreement will have the exclusive rights to perform Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2 in their entirety as a unique performance. Both sides wish each other well and are excited about what the future holds. We want to thank the fans for standing beside us through this ordeal and looking forward to sharing our music with you for years to come." Like I said, that was Wilton, Jackson, Rockenfield, and Tate. Anyways, I'm curious to know what you think about how this turned out. You can write me on Facebook, facebook.com/Miles Schuman, MilesSchuman. You can tweet me at Miles the Shoe. You can email me, miles@radio.fm. I want to know your opinions, and maybe I'll read some of them out there. I really want to know what some of you guys think about Tate getting the rights to Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2. And the fact that he can perform those in their entirety whenever. Do you want to hear more Mindcrime? Do you want to hear less Mindcrime? Do you want to hear more Mindcrime 2 rather than Mindcrime 1? My guess is it's going to be more in the direction of wanting to hear, well, if anything, more than Mindcrime, but I'm not going to get into it. Anyways, that record is kind of new to me because I only came into being a Queensryche fan about 2 years ago or so when I heard that Rudy Sarzo was joining the band. That's the first I heard of them. So I still love Operation Mindcrime, but some of you out there have been listening to it for 25 years now, so you may be tired of it. But anyways, I want to hear your opinion. Go to all those sites that I listed before. What do you say we call the voodoo man himself, Robert Sarzo, now? Let it ring out. Here it goes. Okay. This is Miles the Shoe Schuman. We just listened to "Don't Change Your Love" off of Robert Sarzo's solo album. Then we talked a little bit about the Queensryche settlement and everything. And now we have the voodoo man himself here, Robert Sarzo, who of course plays in Geoff Tate's version of Queensryche, soon to be known as Geoff Tate, the voice of Queensryche, which really is not too much different than just Geoff Tate's Queensryche or Queensryche starring Geoff Tate. Robert, my friend, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me, Miles. It's always a pleasure. How are you?
I'm good. It's always great to talk to you when you get the chance, so it's an honor.
Oh, thank you.
So you guys just came off of doing a few shows with Geoff Tate's Queensryche, right? How's everything going with that?
Yes, that is correct.
How is that going a year and a half into it?
Oh my God, it's going fantastic. I just love working with Jeff and Randy and Kelly and Sass and Rudy and Simon, and it's just it's a really good pleasure on stage, off stage to be playing out on tour. And I mean, when we play out. We give it all we got.
Now, of course, this whole settlement was just revealed. How do you feel about the fact, this is the first time I believe that you'll be talking about it in the press, how do you feel as a member of Geoff Tate's Queensryche, how the whole settlement was revealed?
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and, the way I see it is, it's a brand, it's a name, but things really don't change energy-wise and vibration-wise, show-wise. Nothing will change. So, people, yes, relate to the name, and they, of course, they want to be associated to a name. I mean, it's done really well through all these years. But the bottom line is, it's all about the music, right? And the music will not change, So everybody knows who Geoff Tate is. Everybody knows that he is the voice, So that's my opinion about it. So right now we're just focusing on the farewell tour, as calling it Queensryche GT.
But you, as far as you know, you will be continuing as a lineup after
Geoff Tate's
Queensryche?
That I know of, yes. The way it is, it's, that's what we're planning. That's what it seems like. It's going to stay the way it is.
And Hurricane, your former band from the 80s, now current band still, along with Queensryche, has been opening up for Queensryche, and you've been playing both shows, so both sets. I got to see it in Boston live last month, or 2 months ago now. How has that been going, playing for however long each night?
Oh, it's been going great. We have Jason Ames, that also has worked in the past with Geoff Tate, and he's a great singer. I mean, he's had hit songs in Italy, and it's a great frontman, great singer, great person to be around with, and then we have Tony Cavasso, also co-writer of Metal Hell, Bang Your Head, the Clyde Riot song, my old buddy, and him and I, we actually started Hurricane, and right from the beginning, our first song that Tony and I wrote was the song Hurricane. So we go way back. And then Mike Hansen, that has been playing with a lot of different people in town here. Great drummer. He's been out on tour with us. So we're going back out again with Queensryche in May. We're doing another leg with that. And then the time that I have off from working with Geoff Tate, June and July, I'm actually planning to do some days with Hurricane. And then I go back out again with Jeff and Rudy and Simon, starting July 30th, and all the way through August and part of September, but it was been booked already.
How has the crowd reaction been? Does it seem like a lot of people remember these songs from the 80s and 90s?
For Hurricane?
Yeah, for Hurricane.
Oh yeah, no, they sing along. They, I mean, with Hurricane, we did a lot of touring. We toured with Iron Maiden, Cheap Trick. Gary Moore. We were always on tour. We would do like 300 dates out of a year, and we had videos on Top 10 MTV. We were on Top 40 Billboard. People do remember it. It's just that the band, the songs actually sat around for. It took a little nap of about 2 decades, and 21 years later, we decided to take it out again, and. They're fun songs. Of course, we play it a little different than we were playing it back in the 80s, because the 80s just seemed a little bit more up-tempo. Everybody's material was more up-tempo, and I always wanted to be a little bit more like Led Zeppelin, kind of a darker, bluesier, just different vibe, and that's actually something that we have been able to capture now, with the way the lineup is and the way we're approaching the songs. But they're fun songs to play. They're really cool.
Now, this is a question that I've asked you, when we've just been talking off the air, but this is a question I've always wanted to ask you on the air, so my listeners can hear your answer to it too, because I've actually gotten emails, asking me to ask you this question before. Why do you think it is that Hurricane, obviously the music was there, the hits were there, the songs were there, everything was there, but you guys never had that, it never got as big as a band like Motley Crue or Poison. Why do you think that is?
Well, different things that happened. When we did the album with Bob Ezra and Mike Klink, These are producers that produced Guns N' Roses, Mike Klink, Bob Ezrin produced, Pink Floyd, a lot of great acts. Great album. We were on tour, but no records in the stores. So we were testing the market, what was going on with our records, because we had good videos. We had heavy rotation on MTV. People were coming to see us, but no product in the stores. So people were going to the stores, and then they would end up having to buy something else, because at the time we were signed to Enigma with EMI Capital, right? Which EMI is part, Capital Records.
Sure.
And Enigma was going through some issues, and also with the distribution company, which was EMI, our product was not in the stores. So we lost a lot of momentum as our records were getting played heavy rotation on the radio. So, that hurts, because you got to pay back. You got to, it's a product that you spend a lot of money to make, and then you have to pay back. So right there, we lost that problem, and then Enigma also closed down. They went bankrupt, and I was out of the band. I was, which I was one of the, the songwriters of the band. So, when you change people's personality, especially at the beginning of a band that's getting established, that hurts. So it wasn't like we were around for 10 years and we were able to develop our sound and, and get really solid, structure. And we were at a time as well also that there were a lot of other bands out there. The market was really saturated with a lot of the same kind of music. So, a lot of different things were going on. And the band broke up really young, so they never had time to really get, established.
Right. Now, playing with Queensryche now, would you say that you enjoy touring with Queensryche and playing and being a member of Queensryche more right now than you did as a member of Hurricane in the 80s and 90s?
That's hard to tell. That was a long time ago, and I did have a lot of fun working with the other guys in Hurricane back then. We did have a lot of good times. So it's different. We're a lot older now, and it's really nice also working with my brother Rudy, my only brother. Right. Rudy, that's what we said. So it's just it's a different stage of your life. You grow up, and you go through different things, and you see life differently nowadays. But I do love working with Geoff Tate's Queensryche. It's been an incredible experience. It's been a lot of fun. It's been real positive, and what great talent in the band. It's just it's a blast. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know how much you can say yet, but is there any plans at all for you to put out a record with Geoff in the future, even though it won't be under the Queensryche name?
Right now we're just focusing on this upcoming tour, but we have talked about it in the past, and we have, listened to different ideas, new music. But right now, Geoff is still in the show in Seattle.
In vaudeville, right.
Yeah, with Jason Ames also. So
okay.
It's a theater show that he's doing there. So we're just taking things as we go along. But I love working with Geoff and the whole Seattle camp.
Absolutely. Hey, well, Robert, like I said, when I asked you to do this interview, it was going to be a short interview because we don't have much time left on this show. But I want to thank you so much for taking this short little time out of your day to call and talk to me. How can everybody keep up with what you have coming up?
Well, just look me up on Facebook. It's really the social media that I really try to stay on top of. I'm really busy with a lot of different things that I'm doing. So, just look me up under Robert Sarzo on Facebook. I know my personal one has been filled for a while, but please hook me up on the fan page. And I've been getting a lot of interest also. A lot of people love my voodoo hat. just I'll tell you real quick, I'm going to be actually making replicas of it, and I'm going to be taking pre-orders in about a couple of weeks or so. But I've got a really good little store here in California, Southern California, that are going to be reproducing the hats. I'm going to sign them. They're going to have serial numbers on them, so they're going to be coded. And I'm going to personally sign them and make sure that they're being produced the way I like them. But it's my voodoo hat with the feathers and the skull.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the hat, there are pictures all around in any of the most recent Geoff Tate's Queensryche shows. You can find them there. That's the exclusive. That's one of the many exclusives that we got on today's show. We of course got some from Sebastian Bach and his and some that maybe were a little bit over our over the PG-13, I guess, rate of this show, even though it's not really that because it's all rock and roll. But anyways, we got some exclusives there, and we just got that exclusive there, so you can find more on Robert Sarzo's Facebook page. He has his solo album out, After the Storm. You can find on iTunes and CD Baby and all those stores where you can find your general records, your rock and roll records. The same place you can find Sebastian Bach's Give Him Hell. Robert, any last words as we go off the air?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you out there on the tour with Queensryche and Hurricane, and you guys keep rocking. We love you.
All right. I love all you listeners to my show, too. You might be listening on CMS right now, you might be listening on Spreaker, and you might be listening on WPNT 95.7 The Panther. Wherever it is, it's the Shoe. It's the rock and roll interviews with the musicians that you want to listen to, and your favorite rock and roll musicians interviewed by your favorite 14-year-old rock and roll radio host. I'll talk to all of you next week. Rock on, everyone. Rock and Roll Gangstar Apparel is my personal favorite rock and roll clothing company, and I hope you would feel the same. You can go over to rockandrollgangstar.com to find the coolest rock and roll clothes and accessories, and dress the same as some of your favorite rock legends such as Ron Keel, the Metal Cowboy, the host from That Metal Show, Eddie Trunk, Jim Florentine, and Don Jameson all also wear Rock and Roll Gangstar. If you want to dress as some of your favorite rock and roll legends do, go over to rockandrollgangstar.com. I wear them loud and proud, and you should too. Men and women go out in this country every single day and risk their lives for us, the people of America. If you don't live in America, well, I still hope that you would support this cause. Rock for Recovery is a music therapy program for wounded warriors. It is associated with the Wounded Warrior Project, and me, Miles the Schuman, 14-year-old rock and roll radio host, has gotten involved, and I would hope that you would too. My good friend Paul De La Cerda, who's been on my show before, is in charge of this organization. Is based in Texas. He has people such as John Moyer from Disturbed involved in it too. He just did an event with Alice in Chains. I think you should get involved. Go over to rock4recovery.net, rock4recovery.net. That's ROCK 4recovery.net to find out more about this cause. Make a difference. Rock on.